Hi, and welcome to Diversity in the Community. I am so excited today to have a longtime friend with me. She doesn't usually come on the programs to be interviewed, but I got her. I have with me the co-founder and CEO of Power Muzic Radio, Miss Ronnie Sanders. Welcome, darling.
Hi, Teresa.
I have been trying so long, talking about having her come on, and we work together and all of this, and I am so happy to have her here today. And it's really special because we were getting ready to record, and the fire people came in and told us we had to evacuate the building. I said, nope, this is going to happen today. So Ronnie, welcome to Win TV.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
Yes.
Truly a pleasure.
Now, tell us a little bit about yourself before I go into any questions.
Well, it's really hard to describe me.
Mm-hmm.
I do so many different things. I feel like I'm a positive person. I look to be positive. I look for happiness. I look for peace. I look for tranquility.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very spiritual person. You know, I am grounded, I believe. And so everything that I do, I'm looking for good results,
Yes.
you know, and
Yes.
things that is going to be able to help people as we go forward in this life.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the way I would describe myself.
Okay, okay. For many, many years, a lot of people heard you, probably never saw you. They heard you
True.
on the radio.
Exactly.
And what radio station was that? What, you know?
Well, I was at 89.3 WRTC in Hartford. That's over at Trinity College.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was also at YBC in New Haven, 94.3. And then I went to New Haven, and then I came back to Hartford.
Mm-hmm.
And I was at 89.3 until I started Power Muzic Radio and branched out on my own.
And Power Muzic Radio has been a big hit.
Thank you.
Yes, it
I
has.
love Power Muzic Radio.
I know you do. And your staff, I don't call them your staff, but the, what do you call it?
My team.
Your team, there you
Yes.
go. That's the right
Yeah.
word to use, your
My
team.
family.
I've seen them at a couple of events where you guys would have like appreciation programs.
Mm-hmm.
And so let me stop talking because I have questions for you. What year was Power Muzic Radio started?
So we started in 2019, and actually we launched in October of 2019,
Mm-hmm.
and then the pandemic happened in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So we had only been operating a couple of months before the pandemic happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so Power Muzic Radio is an internet-based radio station.
Right.
So the beauty of it was that we could still do everything we needed to do from home.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have to go into a studio. We didn't have to worry about any of that. We were getting ready to sign a contract for a studio and build out a studio.
Mm-hmm.
And we were going to sign the contract, and we went home on March 6th. That's when the state closed things down.
Mm-hmm.
And I was scheduled to sign the contract that next week, like on the very next week.
Uh-huh.
So the pandemic happened, and so we were blessed that things put a stop, because otherwise we would have been caught up in a year's lease and not
Yeah.
been able to use that
Yes.
location. So
All I can say is look at God.
yeah, and being internet, we didn't have to worry about being home. Everybody was in their homes safe, and you know, we were still able to broadcast and do the things that we wanted to do. So
Now the team that you have, was that some of the team that you had from the other station, or did you get a whole new team, or how did that work?
when I left 89.3, people came with me. And so when we built Power Muzic, we used to meet at the library every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, they allow you to sign up for the conference rooms.
Mm-hmm.
So we would have to get there early so that we could get a room.
Yeah.
And we would meet and we pounded out everything. What streaming
Wow.
company, what was the
Wow.
name going to be, you know, what was our brand. I carried the brand from what I had built at 89.3. So the brand was easy, but what was going to be our tagline, what was going to be our team name, we pounded all that out, meeting every single week. And we used to bring donuts and things like that. And so I had some really fantastic DJs over at 89.3, and they came and they helped out.
Wow.
And we built Power Muzic as a team.
Wow. And what a wonderful team.
Yeah.
Every time you guys
Fantastic
have your
people.
little appreciation things and stuff and go over there, I'm just amazed. Amazed. I am.
Thanks.
How did you guys come up with the spelling of because it's spelled different.
MUZ, right. Because we wanted the power, when we were at 89.3, part of our team name had power in it. And so we worked hard to build that team over at the other station. So we wanted to carry the power in there. And there's power in music, there's power in words.
Yeah.
So we wanted to keep that power in there. In music, we wanted to just make sure that we weren't encroaching on somebody else's name.
Yes. Okay.
So that's why we put the Z in there.
Okay. All right.
So we have to always explain that it's MUZIC.
Yeah. Oh, I know it. It stands out. I love the logo that you guys have and everything. I think I already asked this, but I wanted to ask again. What made you start the Power Muzic Radio?
So when we were at 89.3, the management there had a lot of issues with us.
Okay.
We were late night, and we were on at night from 10 at night to 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning on the weekends. So we would come in there late at night, and we would put shows on. When I became coordinator, I wanted us to have a really good image in the community.
Right.
You know, as I say, there's power in voices.
Right.
And I built a team. We started with 8 people, and I built a team where we had 19 DJs. So that's 19 voices, and mostly male voices going out into the community. So it was all about making sure things were positive, you know, showing our skills, showing our intelligence, showing that we care about, you know, people.
Right.
And it wasn't received well. So there was a lot of things that was going on that was really negative, and it was hitting the team, it was hitting me.
Yeah.
And so my co-founder, Colin, his name is Colin Osborne, we were talking one day, and Colin said, you always said if you had $1 million, you'd start a radio station. And I was like, yeah, but I don't have $1 million. And he said, do it anyways.
Wow.
And I thought about it, and I was like, really? You know, years ago, I used to be in Mary Kay. And Mary Kay, you could start a business on zero, right? And I was like, if I look at, you know, Mary Kay's marketing plan, what she taught, it was always God first, you second, family next, and then your career, you know, your work. And if I take that thought and put it into building a radio station, then it may work. And so that's when we started getting together, trying to decide on the streaming company, what could be afforded, because it was coming out of my pocket.
Yeah.
And so, you know, exactly what we could do in order to build the station. And I'm happy to say that we built the station on a zero budget.
Oh my God.
And our expenses are still affordable.
Yeah.
We didn't go into we don't have to use a lot of equipment or anything like that.
Wow.
So we are able to broadcast, and the DJs that do live shows are able to do this without a lot of added expense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And I know Colin. He was on Win TV one time when he was going to be in a play, I think.
Yes, that's how I met him.
Oh, really? That's how you met him?
That's how I met him.
Oh my goodness, small world.
He is such a wonderful person. And I have to tell you a quick story about how I met Colin. He came over to the radio station, and it was live, you know, came into the studio. And so I'm playing music, and we're talking, and did the interview, and so him and one of his friends was there. And I played a song, and it was a Southern soul song. And they just got up and started dancing. They are the coolest people. And so, you know, I said, you know, you like music. You know, I train people. He said, really? And I said, yeah. And he thought about it and called me. And we had been together from that moment on. He came in, trained, and did a fantastic show.
Wow.
So, yeah, Colin's a really great person, very, very talented.
Yeah, yeah, he is.
So,
and y'all still together.
no, Colin is now doing his own thing.
What?
Yes, Colin.
Oh, he's a DJ now, right?
No, he does that.
He
but
does
he's
the DJ,
also,
right? Because he was at the last program I was at.
But I don't think people really, Colin, I'm telling on you. I don't think people really know that he's also a singer.
Yes, I know.
It's one of his, two of his songs is playing in my system in
Really?
rotation. And he's an actor, and he's a stage writer. You know, he writes plays
I've
and
seen
stuff
him
like
in
that.
plays. I've heard him sing. So
Yeah.
I do know. I do know. He's
So
wonderful.
He's doing more of that now.
Uh-huh.
He's, I believe he's producing a play right now. So
Really?
yeah,
Well, good
yeah.
for him.
He's
All right.
awesome.
What is the mission of Power Music Radio? And I know it's about the community.
Mhm.
And so you can tell me in your words.
So our mission is to be another platform for independent artists.
Okay.
You know, independent artists have a lot of difficulty having their music heard.
Yeah.
And I used to tell the DJs all the time, just because you go on YouTube and somebody doesn't have a lot of views, it doesn't mean that they're not good.
There you
It
go.
means they might not have the skills of knowing the social media.
Yeah.
They don't have
Yeah.
distribution and things like that. So if you hear a good voice,
Mhm.
then play it. So I've always taught them to look at independent artists. We
Okay.
love our traditional artists, our
Yeah.
classic artists. We still love them,
Mhm.
but also we have a lot of people who are talented. So one of the missions of Power Music is to be another platform and not the platform. You
Mhm.
know, I believe that the more radio stations that's out there, the more opportunities people have to be heard.
Okay.
So that's with independent artists, but also I look at small businesses and organizations who are in the community
Mhm.
in the same way,
Right.
that they don't really have the funds to or budget to, you know, really promote themselves
Yeah.
and advertise themselves. So if we can be a platform for them to be heard and to be seen, then
Mhm.
that's what we want to do.
So if somebody, a musician or a singer or whatever, had a product out there and they wanted, could they send it to you guys, let you listen to it, and you decide if you want to put it on your show?
Exactly.
Wow.
As long as they have the understanding that we have qualities to what we play,
Yeah.
because we only play clean music.
Right.
We don't play anything that's explicit in either direction, whether it's language or
Yeah.
you know, sexually explicit. We're looking for music that is
Okay.
going to enhance. So if somebody is having a bad day and they turn on Power Music, I like to say we're the oasis,
Okay.
right? So
Okay.
they can listen to Power Music and they can just chill and they can
Okay.
enjoy the music and have fun. If their kids are around, they can play the music.
Right.
They don't
You
have to worry about
shut
their
it down
kids.
because something.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what we look to, you know,
Mhm.
put out there. And
Okay.
hopefully when people are listening, that's the feeling and the
Okay.
ambiance that they get.
Okay. So now, because you guys are internet based, are
Mhm.
all of your DJs in the Hartford area, or are they in other places?
No, they're all over the place. So
Wow.
they're not with me anymore. People come and go
Yeah.
when you do this.
Yeah.
And because one of the other things that I do is I try and provide a platform for people to see what it feels like to be a DJ.
Okay.
You know, instead of going and paying all that money out for a broadcasting school,
Mm-hmm.
they get a chance to try it, see if they like it. And
Okay.
sometimes they do and sometimes they don't, you know. So they move in and out. I call it ebb and flow.
Okay.
And so I've had people in Vegas, in California. I've had people
Wow.
approach me from the UK.
Okay.
And not everybody is accepted. I won't work with everybody,
Right,
you know, because
right,
people have
right.
different agendas.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all over the world that we get. We
Wow.
interview people overseas, in
Wow.
the States, Canada,
Uh-huh.
anywhere. And that's the
Wow.
beauty of internet, is that you have no boundaries.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is beautiful.
yeah.
Oh my God. And you also have a platform, because I know I read something about a family member where you have little, what are those called, little spots where you can talk about, it was Black History Month, I think, or something.
Oh,
and I
I-
was able to read a little something about my cousin or whatever. So what do you
Mhm.
call that piece?
We call them drops, and I
drops.
try and put in some Black History moments
Yeah.
so that people, if you don't know, then maybe this is something that in the community people can hear
Mhm.
and say, you know, because I believe we have to take it upon ourselves to educate
Mhm.
ourselves and our children
Mhm.
as to what our past is. You know,
Mhm.
because I believe you don't live in the past, but you need to be aware of the past.
Right.
You need to understand the past
Right.
in order for you to have a good, strong future.
Mhm.
So the drops on the Black History, I'm building to, you know, just put some history out there scientists, authors, you know,
Oh,
all
wow.
types of industries going into the system.
Wow.
And I'm always looking for voices because I don't want it to be my voice. Power Music is a family. And so I'm always looking for voices to be able to do those drops so that different voices can be heard. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That, it's beautiful.
Hopefully that's making it unique.
Yeah, yeah. You guys even y'all play a little gospel on there too?
We play gospel.
We play gospel.
On
Okay.
Sundays, all day gospel. And we start from 6 in the morning to 6 at night playing gospel. But I just created a new segment, which I'm excited about. So in the mornings, and this kind of came because I kept hearing about prayer groups.
Okay.
And from 6 to 7 in the morning, it'll be gospel called Morning Glory.
Wow.
So that starts on Monday, and I'm
Oh,
excited
wow.
about that. Yeah.
That is great.
And so I'm also looking for voices for that segment and looking to put, you know, some prayers in there.
Wow.
People, you know, like pastors who are doing some
Wow,
talks
that's
and things.
beautiful.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that.
I'm
Yeah.
excited about that too.
So that's breaking news.
Oh, I'm excited about that. One thing that I loved, and we talked about a little bit about this outside, and I think to have people like you on the show, and myself too, is that when people get a certain age, they kind of give up on life. And people don't have much to do. They sit in their houses, and a lot of older people live in small spaces, and they don't really. But when I have people like you and I, and other people that I've had on the program, it's inspiring to a lot of older people. But they're like, look, they're not 25, 26, or 30. They're like my age group, and she's the head of a radio station. She's hosting a program, and the other lady that I had that's traveling to Jamaica now, I think her program is called Destiny Speaks. These are older people, so older people need to know they don't have to, even when they're retired, and I know you're not retired yet, they don't have to just sit in the corner and die. There's so much that they could do. So this is inspiring, and to me, Win TV is a ministry because I want people to look at Win TV and see something positive and say, hey, they're doing something different. I can do that too.
Exactly.
So you start this thing when you're older.
Right. I was 65 when I started.
When you started, you're 65.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
I was 65. And one of the things that I did as I was getting older,
Yeah.
is I stopped thinking of myself as being older, and I
Yes.
stopped allowing people
Yes.
to tell me that I was older.
Yes.
And even to this day, people will say, you know, why you, because they see the gray hair,
Like
right?
mine.
And they automatically
nowhere.
assume you should be retired.
Yeah.
And why haven't you retired? You know,
Yeah.
if I was you, I would, and
No.
you're not me.
You're not right.
You're not me.
Exactly.
And so when you start thinking old, then you become old.
Yes.
You know?
There you go.
And a funny story, one of my shows, I got a phone call, and this lady said, it's my mother's birthday, and she, you know, she loves your show. Could you play the song for her? And I said, sure. So I played the song. So then they called back and they said, we can't get her to go to bed. And, you know, because she keeps singing a song and she keeps getting up dancing. So finally I said, well, how old is your mother? And she said, 65. And I said, 65?
That's a baby to me.
Exactly. And I was like, why are you trying to put your mother to bed at 65? You better leave your mother alone. Your mother is not old.
Exactly.
Yeah. But that was like such a revelation that when we were younger, 65 was old, was considered old.
Yeah.
And now, you know, we're looking forward to plenty more years of being able to be here. You know, God willing, we can still accomplish, you know, many things.
Yes, we can.
So I was talking to somebody and I was like, now's the time for your bucket list.
Yes.
You know, the stress of working, you know, things like that, you've already mastered that.
Yeah.
So now you can relax and now do things that you're going to enjoy. And they were like, you know, that really makes sense. And so they decide that they want to take a trip.
Yeah.
And they're going to save to take a trip and do it up big.
Exactly.
And I said, yeah, because you're not old. You know, just
No.
because you're a certain age doesn't mean that you have to stop.
That's right.
You
That's
know,
right.
yeah.
And so when somebody's going to be watching this, they were going to say, look at those nice, beautiful senior ladies. and they're out there doing this, I can do it too.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm hoping, that we will inspire people.
Mm-hmm.
Now you talked about, since you talked about birthday, you have, can you talk a little bit about your birthday club that you have on the radio?
So that's my baby. I actually started that when I was at 89.3.
Mm-hmm.
We did marathons, and so
Okay.
in order to raise money for marathon, other genres had items that they could give away. We didn't have anything,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm like, how are we going to entice people to want to help out? So I came up with a DJ bash,
Okay.
which was they could, once they donated a certain amount of money, they could come on and be on air for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
It would be their voice and their music.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I started Power Music, also when I was at 89.3, I did the 5 o'clock club, because I used to be on from 10 at night to 7 in the morning to 5 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a 5 o'clock club, and people would call in and say, okay, I'm up with you, and they would stay up with me all night. And they call back and forth. We playing the music, they chat,
Yeah.
And so I wanted to take that club and bring it to Power Music.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to start the Power Club,
Mm-hmm.
and then take that DJ bash and bring it into a birthday bash,
Mm-hmm.
where people could still be able to celebrate their birthdays.
Mm-hmm.
It's birthdays, weddings, graduations, any type of celebration, but it's your music and your voice.
Right.
And so people get the opportunity to do that and be heard on the radio.
Mm.
And I don't think any other stations do that. I haven't
Right,
heard of any other
right,
stations
right.
doing that.
Right.
So when they go on the website, they can register.
Mm-hmm.
Also, when they register for the Power Club, they get a special gift,
Mm-hmm.
and that's my Power Stone.
Okay.
And so the Power Stone is something where it's created. And there's a story around the Power Stone. I don't know if you got a chance to read it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So the Power Stone is when I was 18 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know, like way back then,
Mm-hmm.
when you were turning 18, it was all about getting married
Yeah.
and building. So you had the hope chest, and you had a cedar chest that you filled with items that you would want to put in your first home.
Mm-hmm.
And so my mother gave me my hope chest. I had a beautiful hope chest lined with cedar, and I was going to be. I had to buy my first set of china, because you bought real china,
Right.
and then you paid on it in
Yeah,
order to
yeah,
pay it
yeah.
down. And so a company sent out this gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
And he was so handsome, but I'll never forget that. And he showed me all these china patterns,
Mm-hmm.
and so I chose my pattern, which I still have that china. And I chose my pattern, and when he was leaving, he gave me a stone, and he called it a Rory stone.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a beautiful blue piece of glass.
Mm-hmm.
And over the years, I rubbed that stone so much. He was like, whenever you get worried, you rub the stone.
Mm-hmm.
So I rubbed that stone so much it had an indentation in it
Wow.
of my thumb.
Yeah.
And so when I chose to become a single parent,
Mm-hmm.
I knew that I was going to have to be very positive.
Mm-hmm.
I had to let go of negativity,
Yes.
and I had to make sure that my environment every day, because here I'm raising 6 kids on my own,
Mm-hmm.
working 2 jobs and things like that to stay
Wow.
independent.
Wow.
So I knew that my environment had to be 100% positive,
Yes.
no negativity, no
Right.
profanity, nothing. I
Yeah.
didn't watch TV. I would keep current with the news, see what was going on,
Mhm.
and then that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured if anything bad was really going to happen, people would tell me. I didn't
Mhm.
have to sit and watch the news
Right.
in order to
Exactly.
find that out.
Exactly. Right.
So I retired the Worry Stone,
Mm-hmm.
and I started being positive.
Okay.
And I learned that it takes 25 positive statements to negate one negative statement.
Mm-hmm.
So my day was filled with bringing 25 positive statements,
Wow, that's beautiful.
things into my life,
Yeah.
into my environment.
Yeah.
And you're going to have negativity.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that you're not going to have negativity. It's not that you're not going to have challenges.
Mm-hmm.
But the more you have built yourself up to be positive and to be looking at things in different ways
Mm-hmm.
and looking for solutions instead of going into that depression about things happening to you,
Yeah.
the stronger you become
Yes.
and the more you can handle.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how the Power Stone got developed.
Wow.
So I brought it to Power Music because
Wow.
I love the community, and I want everybody to be able to have that kind of thought process.
Yes.
That things can't, even though we're going through negativity, we can still find a light in that
Yes.
negativity. Yeah.
How beautiful is that? That is so.
that's
that is
my
so,
power
That
stone.
is so beautiful, though. The story is just so.
Thank
It's so
you.
beautiful. I'm trying to think if there's anything. I think you've answered everything that. Well, I know most of the music that you have on Power Music right now is R&B and soul, that type of
Southern soul.
Southern soul, yeah. And what other types of music?
We do jazz.
Jazz, okay.
We have gospel.
Right,
We do
gospel.
neo soul, some alternative music.
Okay.
Yeah, you might hear some pop music in
Yeah.
there. As long as it has that R&B vibe,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
you'll hear it. So we
That
try
is
and keep that
beautiful.
R&B vibe going. So yeah.
That is beautiful. Oh, I simply love it. Is there anything that you would like to say to, you just told such a positive story already, but anything you want to say to our television audience, a positive word, people our age, young people, anybody, that you want to say, you just look in your camera, just give a positive message. I know, I know you used to be in where people can't see you, but I want you to give a positive message because you are such a positive person.
Thank you.
And so just look over there and just say something positive.
So by the grace of God, a challenge is a learning opportunity. So if you approach it with that mindset that, sometimes it is something else working against you that puts you in a challenge. Sometimes it's the Lord putting you into the challenge to help you learn and to grow. And so for me, if I look inside, if I really think about what's going on inside me, if I'm calm, I know that the Lord is working with me. If it's chaos, then I know that I need to do something different. I need to start praying. I need to do something to get rid of those negative things. But if I also, at the same time, look to see what is the lesson I'm going to learn from this challenge, then that challenge is a lot easier to face and to overcome. So look at your challenge as a learning opportunity.
Wow, that's beautiful. That
Thank
is
you.
beautiful. And I just really want to tell you personally, I really thank you for making the effort a couple of days, even though the fire trucks came and had us go out of the building and all of that kind of stuff. But I thank you for taking the time to come out to give us a positive message to people. And again, not only to the young people, but people who are our age, who are just like, they finish working, they retire, and there's nothing else to do. They sit in the corner and do nothing.
Right.
And I am so happy every time I have somebody that come on that I call seasoned, that we can encourage people. But not only do you encourage the older people, you encourage the younger people, because the last event I came to, there was a bunch of young people that were there. They were performing, and the place was packed. And I just love it, and I appreciate it. And I know that you said that if there are independent artists that may want an opportunity to play their music, they can contact you.
Yes.
And your information is out there. Did you want to give a number that they can call, or do they just contact?
Well,
Power
they
Music?
can go on the website.
Okay, on the
And
website.
there's links on the website. That's www.powermusicradio.com. And on Facebook, we're the PMR Crew. And crew is spelled with a K. So
Okay.
two unique spellings for a
Okay.
unique radio station. That's what I tell people.
Okay, all right, all right.
And they can find out all the information, links to the email to send their music and everything from there.
Okay, well, wonderful. Finally got you in here. I'm so happy about it.
Thanks.
So happy that you're here with me today. And I really thank you for being here. And I know it would be comfortable. I knew it would be comfortable just sit and talk.
Exactly.
So again, I thank you, my sister.
You're welcome.
And to the Win TV audience, I thank you again. I've been here since 2008, and you guys have always supported me. So as I say, a lot of people tend to share things that are negative. This is positive. So please share it, and I thank you again for watching. Have a good day.